Hello, you're listening to our Skyfall review. For people that haven't seen it, this is going to be full of spoilers, so turn off now if you don't want to hear any of the storylines and twists. With me is Chris.
Hello.
And I'm Max. So we're both huge James Bond fans, but as Chris wants to point out, he's a much bigger fan than I am. But I'm still a decently sized fan. Chris is just bigger. So we have to talk about the build-up to Skyfall, the 50th anniversary, the hype, the fact that at the premiere, the future king of the country turns up. My dad said to me when we went to see it, I've never known a Bond film to be so promoted and hyped like this one. Do you agree with that?
Well, I've only lived through about 20 years of its history, but from what I know... the build-up to it, it's probably had some of the biggest build-up, but from what I understand, Goldfinger was... from Goldfinger to Thunderball, when James Bond was really at its height, that was pretty mental.
Yeah.
If they had, internet and stuff back then, it probably would have been on par. Twitter, but yeah, I think it certainly in recent memory it is massive.
Yeah. So what were your views going into it? Because I thought it was. I've read stuff that it's going to be the best.
Yeah.
Did it live up to?
It lived up to my expectations, definitely. Because I toned it down from what everyone was saying. It's not the best one.
It's not the best, but I think it's amazing.
It's a decent James Bond film. It's a very good James Bond film.
It's an amazing film in general, but it's a very good Bond film. And I mean, Casino Royale is one of my favourites, and it was on par with that. I think Casino Royale, I still
prefer Casino Royale.
But it's still... Skyfall is
a very
still
good
up there.
It is very good. It's just not the best.
Yeah,
I knew it wasn't going to be the best, regardless of what people said. It's just it's the 50th anniversary. They're really trying to hype it up, but it was a very good one.
So we'll start at the start. What did you think of the opening, sort of action sequence? Because, in my opinion, Casino Royale is probably the sort of foot chase is one of the best opening things.
It's a good one
of any film.
Yeah, I didn't dislike this one. I think maybe because I knew it, sort of thing.
I suppose. See, that's the problem with me and you, because we know a lot of stuff before going into it.
But then again, there are plenty of other things where I know, and it's still great and brilliant and everything like that, But this, it was just sort of... It was good. It was good. I'm not saying it was shit. I'm not saying it was the best thing I've ever seen. It was good.
I thought the train bit, when the bike bit was a bit... CGI was pretty bad. Well, not bad, but it wasn't... James Bond is famed for doing it real, but this was... it was obviously done in a blue or green screen, whatever it is.
Well, it was Daniel Craig on top of the train, so they did that.
Yeah, but until it got onto the train bit, that was excellent, the train bit with the crane and the stuff like that. But what did you think of the action? What did you... It wasn't as good as the Casino Royale beginning.
No, because Casino Royale
it blew me away.
You hadn't seen that in a James Bond film before, really. Yeah. This, you kind of have. Fighting on top of a train, fighting in a train. James Bond's done it. He's ridden on a bike before.
Yeah. But it was still good. But moving on into the credit sequence with the Adele song. Yeah, I have to say right now, I liked the Adele Skyfall song, but now I love it. And the credit sequence was the best one I've ever seen on a Bond one. It even beat the Casino Royale one. That's how good it was for me.
I don't know.
It's brilliant.
Basically the same as when I first heard it, but there's something
noticed.
The actual visual.
The video.
Oh, that was fine.
But the video was so good. It made the song. It fitted the song and the video
I think
so
you'll never
well.
beat Casino Royale's one.
The You Know My Name is a better song, but combined, the video made the Adele Skyfall song so much better, and it worked perfectly for me, and I loved it. I sat there thinking, this is good. And even though the Casino Royale opening was really good, and it was original, but the new one, this Skyfall was brilliant as well. I had to take my hat off to that bit, because that was just brilliant. In my opinion, that was the best part of the whole thing.
It's not like it was a work of genius or something like that. It was good song, good visuals. It wasn't the greatest thing I've ever seen, even in IMAX.
Yeah. So going on to that, you saw it in IMAX. I saw it at a normal cinema. Was it worth going to IMAX to see it?
Well, I don't know. I have to compare, but I did read that, like on IMAX, you do get like 30% more on the screen, sort of thing. Like there's cut off 30%.
Because I can understand IMAX for Prometheus and like Batman, but I didn't really see the point in Skyfall.
Nor did I really. But if there was more to see, like if I did see more of the film, then I like that. If I'd been sat like at the back, bang in the middle, I'm sure I would have enjoyed it a lot more than
all the
near
way
the front to the far right. But yeah, I'm still glad I went, sort of thing, because it's, you know, it's nice.
So moving on, we find Bond on a beach drinking Heineken, and he's getting lazy, he's getting fat, he's getting addicted to booze. And I thought it was done really well, and Daniel Craig did it. His acting in the whole thing was really good. It's unfair because it's too biased, but when you compare it to Die Another Day, it's like, Pierce Brosnan on the edge with his beard, it shits all over that. I know Die Another Day is just awful, but I thought it was pretty good. It did it well. Like the fact that he's addicted to booze and he's going off the rails and stuff like that. I don't know,
for me it was sort of more like it was good, but was it Bond?
So that's the whole point. It's moving away from...
I know, it's sort of bringing it into the 21st century. It's like,
but that's what's good about it.
He's becoming addicted. It's like they've got to throw all these problems at James Bond, like addiction and stuff like that. It's like, he saves the world, I mean, it's like in the novels and stuff like that, he was more sort of hard. I mean, he's in Thunderball, he gets sent off to a health farm because he's all out of shape and everything, but it's like he wasn't shaking, sort of thing. It's like...
Yeah, but that's because Thunderball was...
It was a 60s, it was a different time. It wasn't like this whole sort of like nanny state, sort of mollycoddling sort of thing. It's like, James Bond's got an addiction.
Well, no, it's more realistic.
I didn't really...
It's more realistic. This is
more
real.
Is it though? Or are they ramping it up to make it feel more of a threat, sort of
It's
thing?
just that you need to show James Bond's vulnerable side. And that's what
they can do that. It's just, I just don't want them... there's a line... And I don't want them to cross over it. The day they cross over
we'll get back to that.
It's going to be a problem. Well, MI6 gets targeted by the baddie and he sets off a bomb inside it.
What do you think of that?
Looked good.
Did look good. It actually surprised... Even though I knew it was coming, it surprised me. I knew, but it surprised me because I knew it was coming, but I didn't know exactly when the big explosion was going to happen. But after that, it gets back to Bond.
Well, he comes back.
Yeah, he comes back. And he says, 007 reporting for duty, and he and he starts to train again, and he tries to get accepted back into MI6. What do you think of that bit?
It didn't blow me away. I mean, it was there. It had its point. It was, it moved the plot along. It emphasised the state he was in and everything. But I'm not. It wasn't like a pivotal moment in the film or anything like that.
Could argue it was.
Well, you could argue it, but it'd be a frankly useless argument.
And you meet Ralph Fiennes for the first time.
Well, no, because you meet him earlier when he talks to M before the bomb goes off.
Yeah, true. Well, Bond meets him for the first time.
See, any scene in the film which had Ralph Fiennes in it, or Rafe Fiennes, whatever you want, I enjoyed.
Yeah. Bond meets the new Q, because I know beforehand you had very strong views on Q. I thought he was good. What do you think of it? Alright, so what are your views?
Regardless of if he's a good actor or whatsoever, he's just... No offence, but in my mind, he looks like a 10-year-old boy. And I totally understand why they're doing it. I get that it's this whole, the world's run by tech geeks and stuff like that. But just a little bit more age. Just a little bit more age in Q is all I was asking for.
So, what, like 30? Or are you talking 60?
No, 30 I can perfectly live with 30. But it's not necessarily about the age, it's about whether, whether the actor conveys wisdom. Age generally does that anyway. If you see someone old, you generally just assume. There are plenty of young actors who, if they played a role, I'd go, they know what they're talking about. He didn't, for me. They gave him the sort of longish hair and put some specs on him and gave him a sort of silly clothes.
Cardigan, yeah.
And it's he's a geek. It was don't patronise me. That's not what
I suppose. Is. But I thought the chemistry between him and Daniel Craig was good.
Chemistry was alright. Although it did sort of hurt when he says stuff like, you must be joking, or bring it back in one piece. It's no, they're not Bond lines. They're Desmond Llewellyn's Q lines. They're his lines. Don't steal them. I mean, I barely got my sort of heart around it when John Cleese and Pierce Brosnan did it. It was like, okay, you've actually achieved something with your life. You're John Cleese, not this guy.
But that's what I enjoyed about this new Q, because he said, "What are you expecting? An exploding pen?"
Yeah, I know, but that's
we
like
don't do that anymore.
But that's like, are they taking the piss out of it, or are they just like a sort of like, no, they're having fun with themselves? It was like,
I just think they're saying, look, we're past, we're a different Bond now.
if they'd gone any further with the humour in this film, it would have annoyed me. I think they got the humour around about right. It's like any more, and I would have gone, stop trying to be a comedy. It's not, just the little jokes here and there.
So overall, are you unhappy? Because I assume
I'm still going to say I wish
they
they'd auditioned more people for Q.
See, I'm perfectly happy with him.
Well, obviously, I'm going to have to make my peace with him. I mean, he could pull it around, do something incredible in the next one, sort of thing. Just make me believe that he is that smart. For me, a pair of glasses doesn't make me go, he knows what he's talking about.
I don't know, he talked well, and he seems like a smart person in real life.
He read the lines.
Yeah, but that's not just what acting
I don't think he does sound like a really smart person in real life. I'm not saying he's stupid. I'm not having a go at him whatsoever. It's just he's not what I envision Q as being. I don't see him as like this 10-year-old boy that like nerdy glasses and sits at a laptop.
I suppose so. Well, I think we'll open it up to the audience. What did you think of Q? Is he too young? Is he too old? Just comment on our YouTube. So yeah, after that, Bond goes to China, Shanghai, and he meets the femme fatale, Severin. What did you think of her?
I thought she was really good. And I'm not in some sort of like pervy, she was really fit way, which she was. But I think she was quite. She's
a French model, I think, so she hasn't done much acting.
She's sort of like half French, half Chinese. I think the point is she's quite pissed off with like French acting. I don't know if this would go on it because no one would hire her because she didn't look like a French woman. Yeah. But now they're all over her.
Yeah. I thought she was pretty good.
I thought she was very good. Like, just sort of what a Bond woman. Bit sort of like that cliched Bond woman, sort of like all sultry and sort of elegant and everything like that. But that is what they're sort of supposed to be. Only she did it well. I believed it. That's the point.
Yeah,
I believed that she was like that. The only problem I have, it's not with her, it's that she didn't get used enough. For a Bond woman, I imagine she'd be in the film a lot more than she was.
Well, he has her in the shower.
But that's, yeah. It's like he meets her, he screws her.
That's what, that's
she
what
dies.
Happens. That's what's good about Bond,
But that's usually sort of like the secondary Bond woman. There's usually one or two. One of them doesn't really last that long.
She takes Bond to her boss.
That's when we meet.
Silver.
Yeah.
Javier Bardem. I thought he was pretty good. I knew he was going to be good anyway. So I wasn't blown away by him. Well, I was actually. It's weird.
Well, you really do sort of see the comparisons everyone was making between him and the Joker.
Yeah, that's
so maybe it's because of the Joker that you're sort of like going, it's good, I see it, it's good. He is creepy, I am sort of like, oh, he's weird, I don't like him.
Let me put it this way. But, on a scale of 10 in blown awayness, the Joker blew me away 10. 9. Silver blew me away 7, 8. So he blew me away, but he was good.
Yeah.
But he was really good.
But I'm trying to say it's not his fault, it's more that I've seen the Joker.
Yeah.
And it's, all things are relative.
What did you think of the line? Because he was a bit camp in it, obviously.
A bit?
Touching up the Daniel Craig. What did you think of the line? Because I quite liked it, where he said, Daniel Craig
It's funny.
How do you know if
I think it's funny. I like the line. It is funny. Well, it is funny. I did like it. I like that scene because it is like, oh God, it's creepy sort of thing. Not just the whole, he might rape him. Just, it's like, oh, I wouldn't even want to be in a room with him. It's just horrific.
Through Q's radio, Silver is caught.
From that moment,
you knew that he was gonna,
and I really didn't like that because it was shit.
What was shit about it?
Well, it's so obvious and so like you've been watching The Dark Knight, haven't you? I mean, I'm not saying The Dark Knight was original. I'm sure it's been done before, but that's made it very recently famous. That whole he deliberately got caught to further his plan, and it's like, oh come on, change it a bit. It wasn't even necessary. When you find out what he did to get caught and everything, it's like, did he have to? I mean, what? It was just so Q could try and decrypt the thing. It's like, if he's like such a great sort of tech whiz, which they were kind of. I mean, I never really got. He was part of MI6 once. Was he some sort of tech guy, or was he some sort of field agent? What? It's like they never fully.
Well, no, maybe that's what's going to happen in future ones.
No, I don't think so. It seems like this is it. You know, you've seen the end. It really does seem like this is like he's Bond now. It's like he is Bond. So it's probably like moving on to its whole new.
Maybe. Yeah. What did you think of the sequence with Silver talking to M in the prison? Because it was Hannibal Lecter.
Oh god, unbelievably all over it. Hannibal Lecter all through and through. But yeah, creepy. Again, anything with him being him, it was very creepy. And
I thought I was sold on the baddie when he was talking about the cyanide pill and he took his teeth out.
Yeah, but I'm curious about that. I mean, I'm no chemist or anything. Does cyanide actually do that?
I assume they would have. They must have done their research.
Well, I'd assume so as well, but I'm just sort of, I've never heard of that before.
Well, maybe that's
I
the whole
thought
point,
I'd heard that before.
It's like, you know, Renard.
If it's true, great. It's creepy. It's horrific. It's
maybe no one people survive from taking those pills. I assume not.
Yeah, but
I assume it's an anomaly. Like some people survive.
But by the looks of it, he didn't really swallow it. I imagine that's the point of it. You swallow it. Did he just keep it in his mouth?
Did he?
Well, I don't know. It seemed to go all over his teeth. That's just it. It's weird. I'm like, I want that fact checked. I want to know how realistic is that.
But I don't really care because it looked.
No, really obviously, good. In the end, I'm like, okay, moving on. But I'm just saying it niggles me a little bit.
That meant that he was elevated from a good Bond one into like a really good one because he's also got the disfigurement as well. But they should have had him without the teeth more.
Because I didn't. The idea of it was what creeped me out, but the visualness, it was like.
No, the visual was creepy.
Because it's creepy, but it wasn't the great. Yeah, but the CGI and everything for it wasn't. I can't help but feel it could have looked more creepy.
Maybe, but
you know, I would like to felt like it was lacking something.
Well, maybe James Bond's fighting with him, and he punches him in the teeth, and they fly out. And he goes, ooh.
It's a good thing you don't write James Bond.
Yeah. So what did you think of the sequence after? Because I thought that... I know I just said that the credits was the best bit, but this is also the best bit. Because I love London. And I love the underground. And it was throughout.
Not when you're travelling on it, you don't.
Yeah, not when it's packed, but I still like it.
I liked seeing it.
Seeing it was brilliant.
That's what I loved about this film. It wasn't globe-trotting.
Yeah.
You know, obviously you've got to go out, and I love visually. Shanghai looked brilliant. It makes me go, I wouldn't mind visiting there. But I love seeing London. I love that. Yeah. And the underground, you know, it's new in Bond, really, sort of thing. But the thing that really I didn't like was when he blew, you know, he set off the bomb to crash the tube train. Why did he do that? Like, why did he need to do that?
Maybe it was
to cause panic. Yeah, I imagine that. So, but it's unbelievably fortunate. It's, you know, it's ignore it. It's for the plot of the film.
Yeah,
and for the train. He was there. Bond was there.
When the
train was there. It was too much for me to just let go. It was like, oh come on.
You have to let go. It's a James Bond film.
I'm always like that. I'm always like, hang on, but I let it go. There's a point at which I have to go, oh, you're taking the piss. But still, you have to let go. You always have to let go, and I will let go of pretty much anything James Bond throws at me.
Well, you can't wait. Like
it was just like, I can't help but feel like that could have been done a bit better.
That's why it still looked good.
If he'd done bombs all over London, something like that, it'd be more okay.
He had some sort of plan. You would have said, "Oh, that's like the Dark Knight Rises."
No, I'm not saying blow up like that, but it would have made better. I would have preferred that, even if it did draw comparisons.
I still thought the whole sequence. Especially because Q was good in that sequence, I felt, and the whole thing was good and well done. It was suspenseful, it was entertaining, it was funny, it had a bit of action in it, and the fight sequence at the end with Ray Fiennes getting shot and that bit was good. I don't understand why the guy didn't say, "Look, we're stopping you now. People are coming after us. Let's get out of here."
Because she didn't want to.
Well, then it doesn't matter what she wants. She needs to get out of there. Because I would have done that. If I got a message saying, Silver's escaped, get Em out of there. He said, "Mom, we need to go." She goes, "No, wait." He goes, "Alright then." No, get out
but
of
I
there.
suppose he didn't know about all the chaos going on in London and everything like that.
Yeah, but he knew that he could escape.
It's a bit of a sort of like, you idiot,
Yeah.
you know. But not as much of a you idiot in James Bond taking her away right after. That was a stupid thing to do.
Why not?
Because of what happened.
Well, they said that they needed to be a step ahead of him and then they lay a trap.
Right, but stupid trap. Him and two old people up against a mini army. Ridiculous.
Well, James Bond doesn't trust him on. He doesn't trust Ralph Fiennes at the moment.
There must be people, some sort of SWAT, anybody.
Yeah, but he would have figured it out.
I know it's like, oh, they do it and everything, but it was sort of like, it just makes me think James Bond was a bit of an idiot. It was like, that's not the best thing you could have done. No way. Surely.
Yeah.
If anything, he got him killed.
Alright, well, the audience will either agree or not. So yeah, going on to that, he goes to Scotland. He goes back to Skyfall, his old place.
Mm-hmm.
When I was watching it, I thought of what you would think of it, and they were delving into Bond's past. For me, I didn't like it because they were revealing too much of it, and they've never done that before.
Well, you're coming from a point of view of the films. That's the point. I was like, how far are they going to delve into it? The only new thing they delved into it really was Skyfall Lodge and the gamekeeper.
Well, they probably needed
being an orphan and his parents' names already established. They didn't come up with that.
It's still...
They really didn't delve into it.
Stuff.
They barely delved it. What, saying that he hid in the thing when his parents died? That's not really delving into his past. That's not what I would say. But yeah, they touched on it. But I'm okay with that. I like the idea of touching on it a bit, but I was terrified that they'd really go over the top.
Yeah. I think they didn't go over the top, but I felt like they gave too much away.
I don't think so. Did you even know his parents' names? Like, did you?
I knew it began with an A, but I didn't know it was Andrew. Just before that, where he has to ditch the Jaguar that he's taking him with, and he opens his garage, and the DB5's there.
Well, I knew it was going to happen from the trailer and everything, but yeah, anything with the DB5 makes me nostalgic. So
but the audience, they all went, "Oh, wow," like that, like it was some sort of...
seen the trailer.
Yeah. And it was weird because after the fight scene, and the DB5 gets blown up. The audience treated it like someone had died. And the actual film as well. Like Bond went, he did a face, and the music went.
I'd be pretty pissed off.
Yeah, but
someone had drilled the shit out of my car.
It felt like someone had just killed his friend or something. But it was good because
it is a bit. It's something of a requirement. The Bond car generally cops it in some way.
Yeah. What did you think of the whole drive up there with the flick of the ejects?
Again, going back to that sort of humour. If any more, and I'd have gone, oh, stop it. I think they just got it right. Maybe it helped that it was Judi Dench in on it. If it had been Q was in on it, it's how the joke is handled as well as the actual joke, and I think that was okay, and it was handled well. I was surprised because I was under the impression that it was going to be the Casino Royale DB5, and it was just the DB5. I wasn't expecting it to have the gadgets and shit.
What do you think of the whole Scotland bit?
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, because I like the idea of having no technology. Well,
it just makes anything like that just makes me think Home Alone. So it's not ideal.
Yeah.
I don't go into things like that with a clean mind. It's already tainted.
Why was the gamekeeper there?
Not much else to do in Scotland.
I really liked it. They needed someone to...
Because when they first announced that Albert Finney was going to be in it, it was all like, is he going to be the new M? And I was like, surely he's too old, sort of thing. Yeah. But I was like, that's intriguing. I wouldn't, that'd be a good thing to see and everything. And I really liked him all the way through the film. I was like, well, who's he going to be? What's he going to be? I didn't know what he was going to be in it, and I liked him,
but I didn't want him to die.
Oh, I was like, please don't die. All the way through, I was like, please don't die. I don't want him to die because that'd just be horrible. It'd be heartbreaking.
Yeah, imagine if Silver just shot him at the end in the little.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, thank God he didn't shoot him.
He had a big fuck off shotgun, sawed off shotgun as well.
He looked hardcore. Not many men can look like that.
Yeah, he did.
But yeah, I really enjoyed him. I enjoyed it.
The whole Scotland sequence was good.
Yeah.
So at the end of the film, James Bond defeats Silver, and like on National Secret Service, he's the woman of his life dying in his arms.
It was stupidly dies sort of thing. I was thinking that for a while I was thinking, is she going to kill the baddie? Because whenever I go into a James Bond film, that's the one thing that I'm sort of trying to work out, how the baddie's going to die. It's the thing I'm intrigued by most and really look forward to in every film. It's like, how is he going to die? So I was like, is it going to be even James Bond?
Don't even see it in Quantum of Solace, do you?
No, you just hear about it.
Yeah.
Don't talk about Quantum of Solace. But yeah, I just wish because it wasn't even Silver that killed her. It was just one of his men that just shoots at her and she gets hit. It feels a bit. I wish she'd gone out in a bit more of a blaze of glory. I'm not saying she should have sacrificed herself and blown the house up, but just I don't know. Yeah. But then again, it makes it more real, sort of thing. That's the thing. I'm trying to straddle two desires here, and it's difficult.
I enjoyed the end, and I thought it was done well by both. The whole Judi Dench throughout the whole thing was brilliant.
I'll miss Judi Dench. She was a very good M.
And Daniel Craig was brilliant. See, the thing is, they're talking about Oscars.
Yeah, I know. I'm hearing
stuff. I'm dubious about that.
I don't think, as much as I'd love to see
if they do, then
Oscar
it's like
but I'm tricky to
Daniel Craig
imagine
won't get nominated, will
he? He won't get nominated. No, I'm just hearing the buzz
about
Judi
Dench.
Yeah, but it's not groundbreaking. It's not,
You could argue it is for Bond.
Different, but not groundbreaking. It's been done better by other actors, sort of thing.
For Bond, no.
Not for Bond, no. But
that's the point.
It's not. It might be new in Bond, but doesn't make it something noteworthy.
Maybe that's what's going to push Bond into like Oscar recognition or something.
He's already won 2.
2 Oscars.
Won 2 Oscars.
Oh, as in like actors and stuff.
Right. But I don't think Daniel Craig's going to get one. If he even gets nominated, I'll be surprised. No offence to him, I wasn't blown away by his performance. It was like, it's a good performance.
Yeah,
it's not like Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
I want to see that again.
Get nominated for Bruce Wayne. And
and that I like.
Usually they don't. Like the action hero in a blockbuster.
Yeah, it's not. It's like sci-fi. Rarely gets a look in.
Well, did DiCaprio get nominated for Inception?
Don't think so.
Because the film got nominated for best film.
I don't think he got nominated for that.
Oh, it'll be interesting to see if Skyfall gets best
I'd
film
love
nomination.
if it got some sort of nomination, but we'll have to wait and see.
But yeah, at the end of the film, a new M is shown.
I loved
that.
I love the fact that I assume they're going to stay in this new MI6 building, or it's more like the old MI6 building. It's probably like in Whitehall or something. There's something nice about seeing the proper MI6 building, but I love the old schoolness. I love the thing that I really sort of enjoyed was M's door. Yeah. All through my growing up, every Bond film, seeing that door, it's like, it looks like a sofa, and it just intrigued me so much. I always wanted to just feel it. It was like, what does it feel like? And I love the fact that came back. I really enjoyed that.
Did you know? Well, you probably read about it, but
the rumours have been there from day one.
I realised she was Moneypenny when they were on the rooftops and Daniel Craig was looking off into London. She's like, I'm on it. I've got a desk job. I was like, oh shit, of course.
Yeah.
She's Moneypenny.
But I knew that, you can work that out from, but no one ever... But no, all I read was that they were, right before Skyfall, they was like, they're going to bring Moneypenny and Q back. So I was like, okay. Then she gets cast, and it's like, no, she's not as the main Bond girl. It's like everyone jumps on the thing that's Moneypenny. As I did, it's only natural. You go, is she Moneypenny sort of thing. And the fact that you never hear her surname, ever, in all the running up to the film, during the film, it's always Eve. There's no surname. It's clearly going to be Moneypenny.
Yeah, I suppose. But that's coming from a guy that, has read a lot.
But I haven't. I genuinely have not read much about Skyfall.
Because I thought, but I'm perfectly... She was good in that film.
I thought she was pretty good. I'd rather her as Moneypenny than like some other agent. She was a decent agent, but no.
But I just love the idea of...
Moneypenny.
Well, when I came out of it, Daniel Craig is looking old for me.
Yeah.
Because when he grew his beard, he had like grey hair around his mouth.
He was looking a bit...
If they'd if they'd cast Henry Cavill instead of him as in Casino Royale, it would have been he's 23, he would have been 29 now, nearly 30. That could have been like another 20 years of a new M, a new Moneypenny, a new Q. But Daniel Craig's going to move on soon. He's doing 2 more. But surely he's going to move on. Yeah, but that's
no.
I've
Heard a lot of stuff about like what's in his contract. Like he could. I read an article where he's signed on or been offered or something. I really don't know. But if he took it or takes it or whatever, he'd be more than Roger Moore. And I was is there any truth in that?
Daniel Craig is a brilliant Bond, but I don't want him to go
stay on
until he's 60. I don't want him to be
Depends
old
on what he
looks
like at 60.
He looks bad now. I'm not saying it's bad. He looks like there's a visible difference between Casino Royale.
True, but if he looks really bad in the next one, then I'll be going okay. But it's like if he stays as he is now, if that lasts for a while, then that's okay.
But well, no. Obviously, that's the case. He's going to be on there for quite a long time. But I would have liked it if a younger Daniel Craig would have been there.
Yeah,
maybe they could have introduced the new ones. Get rid of Quantum of Solace and put Skyfall in Quantum of Solace's place.
Well, it's not just about Daniel Craig. I'm curious how long is Naomi Harris going to hang around?
Well,
how long is Ralph Fiennes going to hang around? I want them to hang around for a good while.
I'm assuming they're going to be there.
You know,
which is brilliant for me.
I would love that. It was exactly. I will now really look forward to every M scene sort of thing, and be sad that there isn't enough of it. It's always just going to be a brief thing.
I'm excited about the future of Bond because Moneypenny's good, Q's good for me. I know you a bit dubious.
Yeah, but you're excited after Casino Royale.
I suppose they could do a stinker. So overall, I thought Skyfall, it was billed as the best Bond ever, and I would agree. I've got other Bond films mean more to me, but this Skyfall one I can see is a better film. Do you agree?
Well, we've already been through this at the beginning. It's like, it is a good film. It is a good James Bond film. It's a different James Bond film, but it's not the best James Bond film.
Alright then, would it make your top 5? It would definitely make my top 5.
On a good day, maybe.
What do you mean on a good day?
Well, you know, sometimes I'll go, no, I prefer that film. Sometimes I'll go, oh, that one I didn't really, you know, depends on how I'm feeling, but it could do. Yeah, it would. And I look forward to the next ones, provided they stick to a similar sort of formula and don't go all big-headed and Quantum of Solace.
Yeah. Alright, that was our review of Skyfall. We'd like to know your opinions of it. Was it the best Bond ever? Is Daniel Craig the best Bond ever? Chris has just shook his head. What are your views? Email us, subscribe to our YouTube. We've got loads more reviews and gaming videos and stuff like that. Yeah, see you later.